All right, so let's talk tomorrow. Here's the same thing. I'll tell you the same thing I just told last period. It's either going to be really, really great for you, or it's going to be some hot garbage for you. All right. If you know your stuff, there's no really in between on this quiz. It's you know your stuff or you don't. You're going to be tested on the 3 formulas, which I am not going to give to you. They're not on the formula sheet. I won't even give you a formula sheet. Those 3 formulas should all be on the front of your packet if you've been here and keeping up. Those 3 formulas: how to find the A value, which is max minus min, make sure, because one's plus, one's minus, right? Over 2. And then the C value, which is max plus min divided by 2. And a great question, somebody asked the question, well, how are you going to ask that question? You know, how do I know whether I'm going to need to know the formulas or not? And just to let you know the type of question here that you'll need it on, if you take a look on your packet on page, let's see, go to page 14 for me. I'm not going to do this with you because you can do it on your own and look up the answers, but everyone look at number 4 on page 14. I'm going to give you a graph and I'm going to ask for the A and the C value. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about as far as where you're going to use your A and your C value. Okay, questions? I'm also going to ask, while I'm on this page, I can already see here, I'm going to ask a question like number 6. Okay, have this line, where does it not intersect? Okay, so 4 and 6 on that page I'm going to ask.
I thought it was 1 because it was,
What are we talking about here?
Oh, for number 6.
Number 6, yep.
Because I took
number
5,
1.
or negative 5 and 5.
Yep.
And then,
so 14 would be the max, right?
Yeah.
So that means it'll hit right once at 14. Because remember, this is a cosine curve, right? Mm-hmm. So if you think about it, Jerry, it starts at its max. So here's 14 right here. So the line's going to hit right here. It'll intersect. This one's asking where it would not intersect, right?
So anything like over?
Or
but the other ones are like 16.
Okay, well, let's look here. So number 2 would be 16, right? Mm-hmm. Let's see. Okay, look at number 4. 3 sine x plus 20.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for this one? Because all your mindset right now is thinking about the max. You got to think about both of them, right? Watch. The max here is going to be what? 23, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the minimum is going to be -3, right? Because that was the old one, plus 20. What's the minimum? 17. So 16 is going to go under the curve. Because it's going to go up to 23 and down to 17.
Okay.
Here you go.
Yeah, I'm more
visual. This was the sine curve.
Yeah.
Right? What was it? 20? Okay, so here's 20. So it starts at the midline, right? Goes to the max, minimum, midline, and then I'm done. There's that curve, right?
Gotcha.
There's 16.
Thank you.
Okay? So I'm going to ask a question like that. All good there, guys? And then the final one AC, and then I am going to ask, given this equation, find the period tomorrow. And we went over yesterday, period is 2 pi divided by the B value. So you got to know where the B value is located on any equation. All right. Find the max and min given any equation. So something like this, if I say, hey, y equals negative 3x, 3 sine x plus 4, what's the min, what's the max? Okay, using that equation. All right, what's the min and max? Find the frequency given the period. Let's see, what do I want to give you for that one? I did one with you yesterday in class. Let's say the period is, I'm totally making this up, so I want it to work. 16, find the frequency. What's the period formula again? Period equals 2 pi over B. Where's the 16 going in for? P. And how did we solve yesterday for B? What did I ask you to do? Cross multiply. There you go. Now you can find the frequency. Good news. Good news is I found my heart. And I'm going to ask you to graph two equations, but you do not have to change the x-axis at all tomorrow. All right, like we did yesterday, like we're going to do today. You do not have to find the period, divide by 4, that stuff. You don't have to do that. Here's what I'm going to ask you to graph tomorrow. Something as simple as -3 cosine x. I'll ask you to graph that. So you got to know, where does cosine start? What happens with the negative? What effect does that have on it? And also I'll ask you to graph something with a shift tomorrow. So 2 sine x minus 1. Okay, so those are the two types of graphs I'll ask you for. So you should not be defining the period, dividing it by 4 like we're going to do today again. It's just knowing, where does it start? Where does it go? Is there a shift? All right. Good? On the two graphs you'll have to do tomorrow. And then finally, I just want to make sure it's only one multiple choice question, but I want to make sure you're prepped for everything. What do I mean by sketch the basic sine and cosine curve? Where does sine start? Basic sine. No shift, no amplitude, nothing. Where's the base sine curve start? 0. Then goes where? Then where? And ends at where?
0.
Do you know what these are on the x-axis, though? You probably never even noticed, right? They've always been there written in. You probably never even noticed what they were, but we got to notice tomorrow because you have to do your own here. Anybody know it? Well, it always ends where?
2 pi.
Always ends at, the basic one always ends at 2 pi. Anybody remember where it starts?
Pi over 2.
Pi over 2, then goes where?
Pi.
Pi and 3 pi over 2. So here's a multiple choice question I'm going to ask tomorrow. What happens to the sine curve as you move from pi over 2 to pi? What happens to the sine curve as you go from pi over 2 to pi? We'll take a look at it. What's happening? It is decreasing from what to what? No. I already know I'm going from pi over 2 to pi. It's decreasing from, what's this point? 1 to 0. Okay, so that's what I'm going to ask tomorrow. Now look, could it be pi over 2 to pi? Could be what's happening from it from 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi. All right, but again, I got to know what this curve looks like. And I'm going to do this. I forget. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't remember. I'm not going to look, but I may ask the same questions for the cosine curve. All right? So I just wanted you to be a heads up for that so you didn't freak out when you saw it on the multiple choice. You at least had a fighting chance. Any questions about tomorrow's quiz? That's a pretty thorough review, actually, not a quick review. All good? All right, let's get going. I'm not going to do anything different with you today. Same thing we ended class on yesterday, new x-axis, right? New x-axis. Now I'm just going to put a number in front and maybe a shift. All right, ready to roll? All right, just throw out, what values do I need to start graphing? Because remember, you need to label a y-axis and an x-axis now on your own. So if you want to draw those in to begin with, let's draw those in. And you might as well put your 4 tick marks. You want this? This might be easier to work with. Right? All right, ready? Tell me something, guys. Here we go. Tell me something I'm going to need to label my graph. Start anywhere. 6, start anywhere. 6, start anywhere. 6, start anywhere. 4. Okay, so I need the max and the min, right? That's my y-axis. So the first thing we should, not the first, but eventually, before you start graphing, you should figure out what the max and the min are, because that's going to go on your y-axis. So according to my equation, what's the max and the min going to be? Should be at this point now. Again, 3, what's the max and the min?
The max is 5.
Good, and the min?
-5.
Good. It's just the number out in front because there is no shift. So I at least have to have 5, -5, and the midline. Right? That should go on my y-axis. Max, min, and midline. Is there a shift on this curve? Nope. So the midline is just going to be what? 0. So I don't even need to graph that. That's already there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, -5. So that's on your y-axis. Min, max, shift. All right, how do I figure out the x-axis? What's the main value I'm going to need to figure out the x value, x-axis? 11, remember? 11?
1.5.
What?
Oh, over 2 pi.
Over?
Over,
What's that called? Use your big boy word, vocab. 2 pi over the b value. Begins with a p, ends in period.
period.
Good job. Yep, we need the period, everybody, right? Period. 2 pi over b. And Jake just gave it away. Your b value is 1/2. Now you got to skip, flip, change, whatever, wherever the heck you remember the saying. Keep, change, flip. It's my go-to. I don't think anything's going to cancel out here, right? 13. What'd you get for the period?
4 pi.
4 pi. Yep. Now again, here there's some confusion set in last period. The period is where the curve ends. Ends. Somebody chimed up. Oh, period. You know, period you put at the end of a sentence. Oh, yeah, that was great. Yeah, great job. Yep. That's where it ends. How do you figure out where it starts and what it's going to go by? That's called your key value or key values. You take the period and do what? Divide it up into parts of 4. So 4 pi over 4, pi. So it's going to start at pi, and every tick mark, I'm going to add a pi. Next one, 2 pi, 3 pi, and it should work out every time that when you add it for a final time, you should get the period. All right, so everything's set up. Do we know how to graph cosine? This was it. This is the new stuff right here. Now it comes down to you and remembering how to graph the cosine curve. All right, who's up with me? 15, ready, Howie?
Yep.
What do you know about cosine, stud?
It starts at the max.
Darn right it does. Then goes where?
0 to the midline.
Midline, which is none here, so keep talking.
Then -5.
Yep,
Then the midline again.
yep, and ending where?
The max.
Done. Tim, you good? We're going solo back there. Your boys left you, huh? Other questions? Anything else? All right, let's go. We got 3 more together here. Oh, threw a little negative in there. Relax. Everyone relax. I just threw a little negative in there. Ready? Y-axis. Min, max, midline. All right, who's going to share those values with me? 1, 11, 11, You ready? Minimum,
-2,
maximum,
2,
midline.
0.
There we go. Again, you don't have to match me. I'm a big use the whole graph person. So that's why I like to space out my X and Y axes, but you don't have to. Go by whatever you want. Ready for the X axis. Period. 2 pi over B. In that equation, what's your B value? What's the B value in that equation? 8.
Wait, no. Wait.
Relax.
2 pi over 4.
Good. Yep. Pi over 4. Got rattled when your number actually matched the answer, huh? I should have a name for that. It happens often. Yep, everyone getting 8. That's where it ends. That's where the curve ends. 8. Where's it going to go? Where's it going to start? And what am I going to go by? That'll be your key values. 8 over 4. Start at 2, go by 2. 2, 4, 6. Wow, I'm looking. This might be the neatest graph I've done in a few years. Looks pretty good now. I actually have decent handwriting. All right. 12. 12. You ready, Sydney? You're going to just kill this, so what am I? I'm not worried. Tell me something about the sine curve.
Starts at the midline.
Yep, which there is none, so yep. Then goes to where?
The minimum.
Y minimum. Because usually, hey, somebody might be saying, oh, and she's wrong, it goes to the max. It does, but why are we going to the min? You got a negative. Good. All right, keep chiming in. Back to the midline, yep. Max, because I flip it. And then ending at, yep. Is everyone all right on the negative flipping it? Because I am going to throw a negative at you tomorrow to graph. Any min or max gets flipped. All right, this next one is as tough as I can get this unit. This is as much as I can throw at you, this third one. If you can get this, we'll be fine. This is as tough as it will get right here. Graphing something that looks like this, where you have an A and a B and a C value. You got all 3. Can we handle it in here? Can fourth period handle it? Think you'll have a better average on the regents than period 3?
Yes.
Yeah? There's some high rollers in that class, but there's some goofballs too. Can we all get through the regents, Dylan, is another question. What do you think you'll get?
Probably not.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get closer. Make sure expectations are in line. Not that I'm saying, kids get 90s in first and second quarter and they're like, oh, no big deal, and they end up getting a 72, which is still good. Passing is the goal. I'm not looking at a certain number for anybody. Passing is the goal for everybody. All right, here we go. Min, max, midline. And I actually have to write midline this time because there is one, right? All right, take our time here. 15, ready, Howie?
Yeah.
What was before I shifted, Howie, before I did that -1, what was the old min and max?
2 and -2.
Yep. but then I did the negative. I applied the -1. All right, what's my new min, Howie?
1 and -3.
1 and -3. Good work. And while we're here with you, how about a midline? -1, right? So all three values need to go on your y-axis. All right, all three values need to go on the y-axis. 1, -1, and -3, wherever you put them, however you space them. All right, x-axis, period, 2 pi over b. All right, what is that b value? 8. The answer's not 8 now. Relax. What's just the b value?
2 pi over 2. Wait, 2.
2. I'm going to get you. You're going to get it here, Nora. No skip flip. Clap your hands or anything, right? Just the 2's cancel. I'm left with pi. That's where it ends. All right, here's where I get nervous now when you start doing these key values. Because it's going to be pi divided by what?
4.
4, and that's it. You can't do much with that. That is your first point, though, pi over 4. I'm a little nervous if you guys can keep moving on. When it's something strict, it's not like pi. It's not 2. Go by 2's. Go by 4's. It's go by pi over 4. All you have to do is very simple. What's the numerator? Add it again. What do you have now?
2 pi over
You have 2 pi, right? Just keep whatever's in the numerator, keep adding it to itself. So 2 pi over 4. Another pi, keep adding it.
3.
3 pi over 4.
Would it be better if we did 1 pi over 2?
Yeah, that's up to you. If you got that, I am just ecstatic. And then even when you do it again, add another pi, you're going to get 4 pi over 4, which reduces down to that pi. So we're good. All right. Oh boy. Who is stepping up to the plate for this one? 13. Oh, I just pick another number. You ready?
Yeah.
Come on, I got faith in you.
So
Deep breath. You ready?
6,
I'll do the questions.
Okay.
All right. You just provide some answers for me. All right. I'll run the show here. All right, newsboy, I'll run the show. All right. I'm in control now. I'm the captain. Sine curve. Where does it start?
It starts on the minimum because it is negative. Or midline.
Starts on the midline, right? Sine always, I don't care if there's a negative in front. The sine starts at the midline, which is what for us?
-3.
Midline equals shift, right? What's the shift of this curve?
-1.
So that's the midline,
Oh.
right?
Yes.
So I'm going to start this curve at -1. Everyone else is good? Jared, you good? Okay. All right. Sine starts at the midline, then goes where?
Goes up to 0. Oh, it goes up to maximum.
But
No, but it goes up.
But
to
I'm glad you did that. Yes, it goes to the max, but because there's a negative, I'm going to graph what instead?
the minimum.
Minimum, which we wrote down was -3.
Striking
Yeah, you are. This is a bad rep here for you. All right, finish strong though. Come on.
Then
So midline, max, but I flip it. Then it goes back to where?
the 0. The midline.
Midline. Yes, keep using the word midline because if you use the word 0, I'm afraid you might graph 0. All right, so midline, max, midline, then where?
Then
Midline, max, midline.
well.
I'm talking basic curve. I'm
Yes,
not
and
talking
then-
this one.
Okay, then you would go to the minimum.
But what do you
But
see on
it's
this curve?
Opposite, so you do maximum.
Why is it opposite?
Because of the negative.
Thank you.
Out in front
So now I go max, which was
is 1
1. And then where does every sine curve end?
at the midline and not 0.
Okay. Everyone good? Last one. Looks intimidating, but It's not different than the last one. A little snow on the ground this morning, huh? Good talk. I like how people always react to the first snowfall of the year like I've never seen snow before.
People drive so slow.
It's snowing. Dad, it's snow. Yeah, I know, girls. I've seen it before. Thanks. Just crushed their dreams.
Did they put spoons under their pillows?
Put what?
Spoons under their pillows.
Isn't it spoons in the freezer?
No, I thought it was spoons under the pillows.
No, it's a frozen spoon under the pillow. That's what it is.
What are we doing here
Nice.
now? Now we're just getting.
No, ice cubes.
Now I'm just going to be
ice
having
cubes
all
down the
silverware
toilet.
under my pillow. I never heard that one before.
What? Spoons under the or ice cubes
No.
down the toilet.
Yeah, I know.
Pajamas inside out.
I've heard that one, but that was really about it. I've never heard of these other ones.
You do the whole ice cube tray. down the
We
toilet.
didn't. We did not do that last night. No.
Do you get as much joy as your kids when we have a snow day?
I don't care. I really don't. I probably prefer to come in because it just throws off all my plans, you know. Now it just shifts everything around. I got to do this here now. And, you know. There's not much joy I get out of life, Aaron, you know. Got to have a heart to do that. Who's got 5? 5? No 5s here. Oh. 7? Tim, what's good back there? You all right? I like your haircut. You like it? Did you go to a barber to do that, or did you do that at home?
Go to the barber.
You did? Nice. Just tell him shave it up. Why don't you just go shave it all off? You're almost there. Have you ever shaved it off?
Yeah.
Have you ever got it that short? Or do you always get it that short?
I always get that short.
You do? Just I've never seen you in this year probably with it that short. You like it that short?
Yeah.
Nice. Anything lower in the summer, or just go like completely bald, or no?
Just almost.
Nice. I like it. Looks good. You like it?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready for the minimum. All right. Before I shifted up 3, Tim, what was the minimum before I shifted up 3?
-5.
Oh, not there yet. Before I did the +3. So that's all you see. What number's out in front?
Pi over cosine.
And what number with it?
-2.
Okay, so before I did anything, the minimum was -2 and the max was 2, but then we went where? Up?
Up 3.
Good. Up 3. So what's my new min and max?
So the maximum would be 5.
Yep.
And minimum would be 1.
Good job. How about a midline?
The midline would be +3.
Good job. The shift. Yep. There you go. So everyone make sure those 3 values are on your y-axis. All right, x-axis, period. 2 pi over b. All right, what's in place of b here now? 2 pi over 8. Oh, you're going to keep going for me? Showing off, Alexis? It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. Everyone else does in this class, if you haven't noticed. 16, yeah. That's where it's going to end. All right, let's figure out where I'm going to start and what I go by. And if at any time today when you're doing the practice ones, if you have an issue with the key value and how to keep adding it, let me know. This one's not bad, right? Just going to be a key value of 4. So you're going to go by 4s. But if, again, today you're like, how do I keep adding this? So keep adding 4, 8, 12, and then 16. All right, ready for a superstar to step up. You ready? Come on, redemption, right? Did you just see the mess that just happened last one? Okay, you can only go up from here, Nora. All right, there's only one spot to go up. Cosine, where's cosine start?
The maximum, but
Ma-
it's the minimum.
Max, but because I have a negative, the min, so I'm going to start it at 1. Then it goes where?
The midline.
Midline, which we wrote down was 3. Usually basic cosine would be where now?
Minimum.
Minimum, but negative says to flip it to the max. Then where?
Midline.
Midline. A usual cosine graph always ends where?
The maximum.
Max, but I got to flip it to its
Minimum.
minimum. Did you take notes there, Jared?
Yes.
That was smooth. Alrighty. Again, you won't have to do any of these, change the x-axis tomorrow. Here's the only thing probably you might want to write down when you graph tomorrow. All right, do not worry about the period or key values tomorrow. Just min, max, midline. All right. All right, let's get going. Let's get practicing. Wow, I gave you guys a lot of time here. Again, if you are concerned on adding the key values every time, call me over, especially with the first one.